Here today we have Fillet versus the Blacksmiths, and if you're sick of Fillet by now, all I can say is too bad, because this is how I learned to play Butchers and Guild Ball way back in the day. I just jammed Fillet games over and over and over again for months on end. And besides, Fillet gets a lot of disrespect in the modern Guild Ball community, so part of the goal of this series was showing off exactly what she does. I think we're starting to manage to prove that. Anyway, Blacksmiths, I think, is legitimately a Fillet matchup. This is one where in tournaments I do pick Fillet over War. There's not a lot of matchups when I do. And I think this is not immediately clear. Most people like Ox in this matchup, just because Blacksmiths are very, very famous for their armor, and Ox's abilities all wreck armor. Well, we watch Vassal glitch out the game plan cards here, but that's okay. So, the Blacksmiths are all about. They're very, very tough. They build a fort wherever they want, and then they give out their auras. And then the masters are very, very hard to kill. And the apprentices sit in the little sentinel aura that gives them +1 armor near the certain masters. And so the apprentices become very hard to kill as well. So that sort of defines a lot of how the masters play, or how the blacksmiths play. And so you need to think of them as a mix of 3-2 models and 4-1 models, really. Apprentices tend to be 4-1. Of course, Faris here is 2-3. Now remember what we like about Fillet? Fillet loves hitting low defense models. Fillet loves hitting Blacksmith's masters. She gets that instant blood rain on the initial charge or on the first attack. She gets to the double dodge that she really likes to have, so that she can evade counterattacks. And she rolls a million dice, so armor doesn't phase her as much as lower numbers models. So I think this, and then blacksmiths tend to group up for their little 1-inch auras, and Fillet can drop an AoE bleed on that whole thing. Admittedly, Burnish is very good at fighting that, but Burnish comes with other weaknesses, and Pudgy hasn't picked Burnish this time. Pudgy's a big fan of the Faris Bolt combo, I think. So, go over the teams real quick. Opponent, so Blacksmiths will basically always play Captain Furnace. Furnace is far and away the best captain, just because he gives out the most. He gives both +1 attack and Searing Strike, so he double diffs on really good buffs when he's captain. Other captains get a much smaller buff. Furnace makes the most use of the higher influence cap, because he's frequently the one that wants to go first. He sets people up really well with Tooled Up and his debuffs. And Furnace also has the most killing potential for a master. He's one of the few with momentous damage, even if it is a momentous 1, and then it does scale up to 2 and 3. Usually the apprentices need to do the killing, but a 5 influence cap Furnace can kill a setup model. And yeah, he can take himself to 7 with his 8 tack with his legendary and do big things. Start wrapping. So Furnace is far and away the most common captain you'll see, and realistically he's the only choice for captain in Blacksmiths. You can the Blacksmith mechanic you can safely ignore and consider Furnace to be their captain. So a big part of this I don't think gets respected enough is that Blacksmiths desperately want to hit high on their playbook. They don't wrap like the Brewers do, but one of the Blacksmith's big strengths is that their killers all have momentous 4 on column 4. Most killers, like the witches and things, only have momentous 3 on column 4. Blacksmiths have 4. So if they can hit that, they're effectively all tooled up. They're dealing more damage. And it tends to scale up from there. But yeah, Blacksmiths live and die really by hitting that momentous 4 on column 4 of their playbook. And the most common way they do that is with this Searing Strike. Searing Strike takes away one of the opponent's armor, so that the Blacksmiths hit that 4th column much more often. Combine it with a knockdown and the high playbooks, the apprentices will kill someone. So, we know Furnace is the captain, we know Blacksmiths rely quite heavily on the Searing Strike, So if you can bring no armor against, like, if you can take models that don't rely on armor against the blacksmith, 5-0 models and things, it's a surprisingly big advantage. So Fillet, we've already gone through what Fillet likes about versing the blacksmith, but Fillet's our only 5-0 captain. Blacksmiths don't like hitting her, so she works the other way around as well. Otherwise, we have a fairly standard team here. Roast is a similar thing. We need a killer, and Roast is not someone the blacksmiths kill easily. I don't think. Yeah, cast has damage attached to the dodges. Sorry, my brain just went blank. Yeah, Roast is not someone that can kill trivially. Obviously, I can hit the high on their playbook, but they don't pop resilience all that well. And Roast can threaten apprentices. He's our highest damage model, so if you can take and cast off the board, the others don't threaten the kills. Blacksmiths, more than other guilds, tend to crumble when key pieces get taken off, which is ironic considering they're the ones without a proper captain. Otherwise, Meat Hook's pretty standard with Fillet. Gutter is pretty standard. Anatomical's great here. She does the AoE. She sets people up. She sets up Fillet with the bleeds. And Vet Brisket, I think we decided is our footballer, just because Bolt doesn't take the ball off Vet Brisket that well and put it in the goal. We're kicking off this game, so for once I'm not playing O-Brisket. The previous 3 videos I realized all had O-Brisket in them, and I almost never play O-Brisket. I only play her on Fillet when receiving, which Fillet is traditionally a kickoff captain anyway. But I've been liking Fillet on the receive. Anyway, now that we're kicking off, we don't have O-Brisket anymore. Vet Brisket instead. And Vet Brisket helps with the threat bubbles. We don't have Cinnamon in this 12. Cinnamon would be a decent consideration here. But I always like having someone that messes up threat bubbles out of my squaddies, whether that's Boiler and his marked target, Vet Brisket in a quick time, Cinnamon and a speed aura. So Vet Brisket's the choice here. And of course, someone that can just put the ball in the goal if needed. From the Blacksmiths, Furnace cast is very, very standard. Furnace sets up, cast kills. Culverin and Cutlass are pretty standard against Butchers. They do a lot of range damage and put the Butchers into that one-shot range. Cutlass, I think, she does like 7 to 11 damage really easily at long range. Farris Bolt. Farris is not that rare, although I think she's a little overrated against Butchers. Farris Bolt you'll usually see as Burnish someone. Burnish and Vet Cinder I think is more common for this pairing. But I know Pudgy's a fan of Bolt's goal scoring abilities, so Pudgy skews this way. I wouldn't have mind seeing Burnish Vet Cinder instead of Culver and Cutlass here, I think. I think Vet Cinder is very, very powerful, very good against Butchers. Yeah, I think I prefer Vet Cinder's setup more than Cutlass's setup. So then you get Burnish against Fillets, character plays, and things like that. And Burnish is legendary, just does a whole ton of AoE damage as well. Anyway, kick off with Gutter's perfectly standard. Gutter's the one we want to initiate with. Fillet can follow up with the extra bleed distance. Kick the ball to the left, mostly because we had a chance to deny Cutlass's poke. And ideally Cutlass would have had to come a little further forwards. I want the scrum to sort of build on this side of the pitch. I think we can use the fast terrain a little better than the Blacksmiths can. It's why we've kicked that way. I want models to come out into the open here. Anyway, very generic, burning activations, tooling up Fillet. Got a little greedy on Roast. Roast is trying to put his aura on both Fillet and Gutter. I don't mind Roast being so far back. That's not the problem with this. The problem with this is we've made it very precise and touched both, but we've wrecked Vet Brisket's quick time. If Roast was just up nice and close to Gutter, we could quick time freely. Now if we need to quick time Gutter here, she's lost roast buff, which is awkward. So it all depends sort of how cagey Pudgy plays. And Pudgy's decided to play this very cagey. Culverin and Furnace stayed on their deployment line. Our kickoff wasn't good enough to force Cutlass to be in Gutter's range. And Ferris is deliberately avoiding Gutter's range, so we have to use Vet Brisket to get Gutter set up, which will wreck Brisket it while it's hot. So that's a little awkward that I've just cost myself an influence here. But that's okay. So yeah, Vet Brisket goes. Gutter puts some people in her threat bubble. I think she hits the deployment zone now. Yeah, 8 inches plus 2, easily. So Gutter's now threatening the world with Vet Brisket's help. This is why I like to have at least one squaddy that messes up the threat bubbles so that opponents can't just do what Pudgy tried to do, measure out Gutter's threat and stay outside it. Or at least it makes it a lot harder to do that. And of course, there's always Fillet Swiftfoot if needed to. Ideally, we'd get Fillet doing something turn 1 here. Unlike in previous games where Fillet was a dedicated turn 2 model, because we were going on the turn 1 goal run. Our ideal plan for turn 1 here is Gutter barrels into someone, causes them to bleed, and Fillet uses that extra distance to get on them as well with her smell blood. So ideally, that's what we managed to do turn 1 here. And then we crush momentum, and top of turn 2, we kill whichever model we barreled into. Or kill them turn 1. Either way is good. Pudgy's going to play very defensively, so it looks like Fillet is going to struggle a bit. And we've also put Truffles a little far to the left. Ferris hadn't moved yet, or else Truffles would have been further over. But we're blocking Fillet's path a little. And honestly, that's fine. It's not worth burning the clock trying to get Truffles exactly back at the start of the game. So Gutter has an interesting choice now. So after the quick time, Gutter can now reach Ferris. Or Gutter can plow straight into Furnace Cast. So we're offered Furnace plus Culverin or Furnace plus Cast. Either's good. I'd probably default to Furnace Cast. Just putting damage on the important killer model, the important point scoring model. Or we're offered the much safer Ferris, because obviously if we go plowing into the Blacksmiths team here, Gutter's going to get revenge killed, which is fine. We sacrificed Gutter in previous videos. But Bolt relies on I'm open for their goal scoring. And engaging Ferris has a lot of value here. It makes Bolt a lot harder to I'm open. Engaging increases the target number on the pass and takes a dice off Ferris's kickback. And yeah, we can spike the knockdown as well to make it even harder for Ferris to do this I'm open tricks that Bolt wants to do. So I like the decision to take Ferris here. We get a much smaller charge on a much less important target, but we're really, really messing with Bolt's activation. The other perk is that we get Gutter's double push Ferris out of cover and back into Fillet's charge lane. So now we've activated our 6 influence tooled up Fillet, and Ferris is going to be dead. So I like this Gutter charge. And Pudgy called this out in the game, that he was very surprised by this. It never even crossed his mind that Gutter wouldn't take the biggest charge. That Gutter could take a smaller one here. And so this is a great position. We've gotten a good target. We're still in a relatively safe space. I think Pudgy's being punished a little for just how cagey he was being, because the fights happened anyway, and his team's a million miles away. It isn't the scrum on the left that we were hoping to build on the ball retriever. The kick just wasn't good enough. Cutlass got too far away. But that's okay. We can build a scrum over here if we need to as well. So, oh, did I just pause that? I just paused that. Okay. So Bolt's going to try and make their goal run. Spent 2 momentum to clear conditions on Ferris. That's great. 2 momentum spent is amazing. Helps us for next turn. And then from memory, Pudgy spends a lot of clock here trying to measure out Bolt goal runs. Bolt has stamina, so jogs and then gets to do their turn. It also has eye open, so it can pass and receive off Faris. So that was insanely close. With Pudgy measuring out goal distances, we decided that's just slightly out. Bolt couldn't quite make it to the goal line. With all these models in the way and terrain and yeah, with 2 obstacles to go around. Even with the quick foot. I think there might have been a way. Pudgy might have given up on measuring too soon there. Anyway, Bolt decides to pass to Faris, and Faris takes the dodge out to make sure Fillet can't activate. And then calls the ball back. So Fillet got her activation bricked, but we prevented the goal. We dealt a ton of good damage. So I'm relatively happy with this turn. And I like how spread out this Blacksmiths team is. We can exploit that much faster than the slow Blacksmiths. Fillet throws a pain circle. Gets them both, so we deal out a bunch more damage with these bleeds. And Bolt's going to struggle to score a goal now. Because there is a very good chance we're going first, and we're just going to come and take the ball off them. And this is where Pudgy will be missing Vet Cinder. Pudgy invested a lot in this little striker pairing, and the strikers have failed to get their goal. And to cap that off, it means Bolt isn't a snapshot threat either. Faris is quite good at fetching the ball, passing it to Bolt at very long distances, and Bolt snapshots it in. That's part of how that pairing's supposed to go. Okay. We ended up with a roll-off for initiative. It looks like I've won it. Yep, so I get to go first. Okay, roasted meat hook, just make 2 random dodges. Don't know why I picked that card. Probably should have picked match fixing or nowhere to hide on this cover. I forget why I wanted the 2-inch dodge. Oh well. I feel like I should have picked nowhere to hide on this cover and won initiative that way. Either way, Gutter's going to come and mess them up again. It's rare that Gutter gets a turn 2 charge after a turn 1 charge. But she's going to have a lot of fun with it now. So Faris is 2 inches, so if we want to sweeping charge both of them, we've got to take the crowd out from Faris, or the counterattack from Faris, either way. We're definitely not taking the counterattack. Faris has got too many bushes. Remember, I only engaged. Did I just engage Bolt, or did I take the crowd out? I don't remember which one I picked. Let's find out. We picked just engaging Bolt. I really wanted Bolt dead. I really want Bolt's goal run to not happen. Worst comes to worst, take the ball and kick it to a teammate. But Gutter deals good damage. Gutter just kills them. Ball scatters. Oh, very good scatter, straight onto Faris, right in time for the Blacksmiths activation. A little unfortunate for us, but that's okay. We've had lots of things go right so far this game. So Faris is going to take the ball to safety. The Blacksmiths are going to prepare a scrum. So now they get to use the ball to fix all these threat bubbles, keep up with the Butcher's speed. And it means some of these isolated models aren't that isolated if they can use the ball to get around. Furnace and Cast might be able to stick to someone this turn. Get like if Cutlass can poke someone, Furnace and Cast can kill them, things like that. And so yeah, we're just going to burn some activations. Meat hook set up. And see what the blacksmiths are going to do. I want the blacksmiths to come to us, or at least use valuable activations on not valuable things. Like Furnace here. Furnace has decided to play it cagey. We're going to stay in our deployment. We're just going to pass the ball around. We're going to make the blacksmith. We're going to make the butchers come into the sentinel auras, which is perfectly fine. So we killed Bolt before activating. So we have the first last activation this turn. Blacksmiths are going to struggle to bunker up against that. If you remember from like Thresher strategies, first and last activation are fairly important for bunker strats, so that you can do damage and then retreat to your bunker. But it's flipped on them. They don't even have an equal footing. They're behind on activations. Yeah, very, very comfortable. And of all things, Gutter's in a perfectly safe spot to get a turn 3 charge. The top of turn 3 might well just be Gutter plows into this little scrum here. It's Furnace and Faris. I don't think I've ever gotten 3 Gutter charges in a row. In what has to be hundreds of Butcher's games by now. Yeah, so ideally we're not getting roast killed. Roast being a little cagey here. That might be too cagey. Roast can't reach the deployment from where he is. They won't still be on the deployment, right? They'll be fine. Probably. I don't know how far Roast should have been. Apparently Roast lost his resilience somewhere in this. Culverin's got like I Spy or something, right? Yeah, I Spy. Usually that popped the resilience. Okay. Brisket comes in just to join the party, not be in the bunker. Cast struggles with unpredictable movement from memory. Yeah, you got Swift Strike, so you can beat Roast, but I don't think Cast beats unpredictable that well. So Brisket can be a little riskier and just try to pull off some bleed. Knockdown on the counterattack. Knockdown doesn't prevent unpredictable movement, so that's okay. And yeah, we're just going to unpredictable out of Cutlass. Cast wants to come onto Brisket, that's fine. We'll build the scrum in the middle while Furnace and Faris are out of position. We can collapse on a scrum in the middle here. Truffles. Once again, you're slightly too... Roast can't fit between Brisket and Truffles there. Once again, you're slightly too far over Truffles, but that's okay. Cast decides to come in on Brisket. Yeah, with Swift Strikes, I guess Cast can be pretty safe. Maybe Brisket coming in was a mistake. Maybe Brisket shouldn't have come in, or maybe shouldn't have used the unpredictable on Cutlass. Yeah, I've gotten it killed. Right, so maybe she did have to save the unpredictable for Cast. That's interesting. But I think this is one of my favorite moments in my Guild Ball career, one I'm going to remember for a very long time. Look how perfectly lined up everyone is for Fillet. We've got a 6 influence tooled up Fillet. And anyone who wants to doubt what Fillet can do, let's have a look at what Fillet does when she plows into a blacksmith bunker. Culverin doesn't have Sentinel like Furnace and Faris, so Cast isn't armored up here. Okay. Oh, I missed what happened there. Oh. Am I thinking of next turn? Was that a pain circle? Fillet messed up a dodge and then Cast counterattacked out of it? Right, I don't know what Fillet did on a charge. I missed it on the dice. Anyway, all right. It's still good. It's still good. Desperately have to go first, so we're playing Gengan Press despite being up 1 influence. No reason to risk, nowhere to hide or anything. Because Cutlass is on 8, Cast is on 7, and Culverin's on 10, and we got a 6 influence Fillet. this is how butchers, especially Fillet butchers, but butchers in general, win the game. Is Fillet can't kill all three of these models. With tooled up, she's actually got a good shot at it, but without tooled up, she can't kill all three. Honestly, even killing two would be a spike. So why is it such a big deal then? And it's purely about allocating influence. So cast wants to carry 4 influence. If Pudgy gives 4 influence to cast here, Fillet kills him. That's 4 influence off the table. That's a huge disaster, playing with 4 less influence. If cast doesn't get any influence, if Cutlass gets it instead, we kill Cutlass. Oh no, Cutlass has just lost 3 influence or whatever they get. It's 3 influence off the table, and cast didn't get any, who desperately needed influence. So we've double dipped. We've taken influence off the table, and their main killer point scorer didn't get any. So we've got 2 useless models for the opponent now. The fact that we're threatening to kill 2 of them, like if we spike, we can kill 2 of these people. I think it legendaried last turn. It just means the opponent can't place influence. So even though we're not killing every single model, the opponent can't comfortably place influence on the table, and that's how butchers win. It's easily our primary win condition. So, I've zoomed in on fairness. Personally, I think they should have overloaded this and put like 2 on each of these models, something like that. I think they just had to suck it up that this was a really, really bad position, put 2 on each, and accept that they're going to lose a whole bunch of resources. Instead, Pudgy opts for stacking the other 3 models, Bolt, Furnace, and Ferris. Slight mistake here. I went into base contact with Culverin, just so that the single push wouldn't get me out of engagement on the counterattack. And then I can dodge into cast after, and the opponent doesn't have a momentum to counter anymore. I think I should have stayed at 1 inch on Culverin and then just dodged into either cast or Cutlass, dodged out of Culverin on the hit. Because the first dodge is on 2, so against 1 inch, a collection of 1 inch models, I should have just dodge bounced around the counterattack here rather than come into base. So I think Culverin can spike a double push too. She's got a double push at the top of a playbook somewhere. Anyway, we went into base. That was a bit of a mistake. I think we get pushed. Yeah, we get pushed so that there's a crowd out now. That's fine. Fillet rolls 1,000,000 dice. And this is where she loves hitting low defense models. The fact that all these 3s are hits. Was it Momentous Blood Rain, was it? Yeah, it looks like it. So the goal is kill Culverin, really. Culverin has the 1 influence here. Culverin's Quench does help a little against Fillet. It's not just Burnish. But it doesn't really matter how many we kill here. We've already denied them their influence for this turn. And the rest of the team will kill them. Like these three blacksmiths are not going to survive the butcher's team, even if they survive Fillet. And then do a bit of dodging. I think we could have stayed to kill cast was an option. Yeah, we try to hit the... it'd be a spike to get the 3 damage. That's a pretty big spike against a 4-1. We're not likely to kill cast there. So I like just taking the dodges to try and get out of Furnace's reach. Or at least not be somewhere where where Furnace is engaging us with a whole bunch of gang ups. So Fillet dodges to a bit of a safer position. Basically where Brisket used to be. That Brisket thing might have been a mistake. Might have messed up that Brisket charge. And at this point, it's only 4-2, but I think this game is mostly over at this point. That was Fillet's finest moment, showing how just the captain shut down 3 models. She didn't get literally 6 points that activation. That was 3 useless models that Now Pudgy has to try and play with Bolt without the ball and 2 masters. Admittedly, Bolt can I'm open the ball off cast. But yeah. Okay, Fillet's already gone, so we don't really need the tooled up. Meat Hook can actually just reach Furnace here. So we're effective. Meat Hook doesn't get to do this often, but it's something to keep an eye out for when you do. Meat Hook's going to come and mess up Furnace's movement so that he can't join this scrum. Meat Hook's going to have to wail. Furnace is going to have to wail on Meat Hook, and Furnace is not that good at killing people. He's still a master. Furnace sets up for the apprentices. So we're not necessarily losing Meat Hook for this crazy charge either. Meat Hook snares him. She uses a heroic to wreck his movement. -4/4 move. And Furnace is not joining this now. Not even getting into a good spot for his legendary. Not that this is the turn you'd legendary. Yeah, Meat Hook gets all set up, but there's no one to capitalize on the setup. And if Meat Hook dies, we don't care. She's not the point scorer. Fortunately, the scrum all ran left, so Gutter didn't get her dream third charge, but that's okay. Do I remember to Gengen press? I think I just decide not to. I think Truffles with 1, Vet Brisket with 1, and Roast with 2 was perfect. Yeah. 4 there, 6 on Fillet, 2 on Meat Hook. That's what we decided to do. And Roast doesn't need 4 influence to kill people over here. 2 influences. Yeah, 2 influence to just take up this off the board. Perfectly fine. Just jog over and hit her twice. Sounds good. I guess we could have reallocated an influence from Truffles to Roast and then put Roast aura up on Truffles so that Truffles has the free charge and Roast could have charged there. That might have been a slight optimization, especially since Cutlass didn't die. It looks like Roast low rolled that quite a bit. How did that happen? He had an extra dice. All right, I wasn't watching the dice. So I think we can just narrate what happens here because I feel like this game is fairly over. I don't know how. So the Blacksmiths have got to put this ball on the goal at some point, and they've got to get 3 more kills. Who's going to kill 3 models? Like, Cast might get one. If Cast might come back on and get one. Furnace Legendary maybe gets another one, but our models are still pretty healthy. Risk it aside, I guess. So maybe there, but like a third one? Where's the third one coming from? So the opponent really has to get 2 goals, and ball's here with the entire Butcher's team collapsing on it. Okay, I just had to pause and I've completely forgotten where I was up to, so let's just sort of start from where we are. Who knows what I said like 5 minutes ago or 15 seconds ago in this video. So right now we're just trying to finish out the scrum. Failed to kill Cutlass for some reason. Cast got to heal, but it should all still be fine. We still have a perfectly healthy Roast and Fillet up against a whole lot of beaten up Blacksmiths. Truffle gets to knock down Faris here, an already activated Faris, so... Nope, Truffles decided to take the kill on Cutlass. Never mind. And then, yep, Gutter gets a simple jog over. Alright. So, top of turn 3. We're racing for points. We want to try and threaten the ball as a big thing here, because I don't believe the opponent can win this without scoring, realistically, 2 goals, but at least 1 goal. So killing Cast. So Cast and Bolt are their 2 main point scorers, and they're both low health. So if we can kill either of them before they can activate, that's huge. Opponent gets to go first. Looks like we spent a lot of momentum. They didn't. It's all fine. Extra shot. We just give out Roast Okay, I guess got it. They picked Fillet, but Roast with an extra attack here will do some fairly nasty things and can definitely use the free sprint. So this is their big Furnace turn. So this is where they got to try and recover the scrum a bit. The big Furnace legendary. Furnace is still snared. A little awkward for them. I don't think they healed it. Part of why they got so much momentum, I guess. So yeah, and they played set me up, so they've gotten their pass with Bolt and promptly missed it. All scattered over to gutter. Unfortunate for them. So Furnace declares his legendary. So it looks like the goal is kill gutter, kill meat hook, recover the ball, score a goal, and then they've just got to find one more kill somewhere. A solid plan, but it does mean Furnace is not helping cast over here. And this is where, yeah, I think Pudgy's right. They're fully stacked up cast here. They've just got to accept that they're going to lose a lot of influence this turn. That the Butchers have hit their element of removing influence from the table. So I like Pudgy's plan here. I still think we are very, very far ahead. Yep. Gutter's in cover, so she isn't even that easy to kill. But she gets set up by Furnace. Doesn't matter. Cutlass is not going to be able to kill Gutter here, and I can only imagine we're not going to give Cast a turn. Yep, root the ball towards the goal. Can't keep it safe here. People like Fillet and Gutter are threatening it. Or are we going to pass it back into the team? I like to boot the ball towards the goal. Try and have Bolt just run down the middle late in the activations and score early turn 3. I think that's a solid plan. No, we're just going to give it back to Bolt instead. Okay. And, heal Cast a 9. I don't think Cast has a chance. I think Roast comfortably kills this. Roast has Momentous 2 on 3, but Momentous 3 on 4. The two friends will cancel each other out, but Roast has this card, the 7 tack. Right, do we kill Cast, or did I do something weird again? Okay, looks like I forgot an extra dice. What was our result? Come on, what are we trying to figure out? I see. Oh, Cast is in Sentinel here. I did forget that. Okay, maybe Cast is perfectly safe. Maybe this is really good from Pudgy. Yeah, an encourage on Cast. Okay, yeah, an encourage on Cast plus the Sentinel. I have forgotten the Sentinel here. Cast is probably safe. So I've given up on killing Cast. Decided to set them both up instead. I'll set up Faris anyway, and I can only imagine deal some damage to Cast. Nah, decided to knock down Cast too. Man, I really hate how I played the later parts of this game. If we weren't killing Cast, we should have been killing Faris there, not all this knockdown stuff. Anyway, Cast gets a chance to use their influence now. Yep. Oh, Cast just decided to run away. Okay. Run away, kill Meat Hook. Meat Hook was always going to die this turn. Bolt did a bunch of damage to her last turn. So that's not a surprise. I really feel like this isn't the velocity the Blacksmiths needed. Because despite, like, it's okay, right? I'm going to run away. I'm going to play at KG. I'm going to try and set up a fresh new scrum with the ball. But you've left Faris behind. So Faris is going to be another casualty of this. And at 8 points, we had goal threat, immediately winning the game. Or snapback goal, of course, to make things even harder. So yeah, Fillet's got a pretty safe bleeding target. He's going to take Furnace off the board during his legendary. Furnace has good pushes. Since he's already bleeding, we don't need to Blood Rain immediately. I imagine we just dodge into him. So he does have 8 tack at 7 tack. He's got 7 tack at the moment, so he can spike his double push on 4. Not likely to. And even if he does, we throw a pain circle into this big clump here. So it's not the end of the world. Oh, low rolled that attack like crazy. Well, surprisingly little damage to Furnace. The guy is only a 2-2 at the moment. We are at +1 damage on all our attacks. I would have expected a dead Furnace here, but we actually did very little damage to him. It might have just been the dice. Okay. But, yeah, it's still okay. Still got Vet Brisket, Truffles, and Gatto. Still got 3 activations. We still got a Blood Rain on him, so Cast and Bolt are both bleeding again now. Gonna make things harder. And Fillet is perfectly safe, so we can win momentum and then do this again next time with Fillet. Okay, so Furnace ended up on 1. That's okay. So Gutta should... I feel like Gutta should be charging Faris here, right? Gutta can stand here, sweeping charge Furnace off the board, and still hit Faris. Shouldn't Gutta be charging somewhere in here to hit both of them? Oh, that's a bit awkward. That's right. Yeah, she sprinted in here, used the 2 defense and 1 armor after anatomical Furnace to pigstick and cast. That's right. Yeah, we did some pigstick in there from memory. Or did I not? Did we take that back? I might not have had line of sight or something. Yeah, whatever it was. That clearly got messed up. I've played it awkwardly at the end of this game here. Catching myself reviewing it now too. Things keep going wrong. But we were so far ahead that it just isn't going to matter. Pudgy hasn't managed to get the ball into a threatening position, and at some point we're going to threaten the ball here. It's possible Fillet should have threatened the ball this turn. I was very confident that would be a dead Furnace. It's okay. Yep. Brisket gets her 1 influence charges. We keep throwing Jagged Blades around. I think we just throw a Jagged Blade at Cast to take her off the table. Now we just need 1 more kill. And that'll come pretty quickly. There's a lot of very, very, very beat up blacksmiths here. So a little clumsy towards the end. It's okay. So Bolt uses I'm Open to send Faris off to try and score the winning goal, I think. Or not score the winning goal, to score a goal. It's only on 4 points. Truffles engaged, so Truffles can't charge Faris to knock the ball down. So that was a good play. I did completely miss that line. But a goal here doesn't change anything. We clearly go first next turn, and then 6 influence Fillet against this Cutlass, or against this 4 health roast, this 4 health bolt. It'll all be fine. So Truffles just heads over to stand in the way. Immediately gets double pushed out. And Faris gets her goal. So consolation prize for Pudgy there. That was well played to get Faris out of that scrum there. I do think Gutter should have charged Faris to make that significantly harder, and also would have collected the kill on Furnace and dealt another sweeping charge bleed to Faris. Put her on 1 or 2 health that Truffles maybe could have killed. I've accidentally dragged Fillet instead of the ball. Anyway, that's game. I think, yeah, it looks like Pudgy's conceding here. Anyway, we'll treat that as the game. I think he's just conceded, just wanted to get those 4 points. So that was the ideal game of how Butcher's first Blacksmiths works. That's exactly why I like Fillet much more than Vet Boar in this matchup. Vet Boar is very, very easy to kill for the Blacksmiths. If Furnace manages to stick to him, that's Searing Strike plus knockdown as a 2-0 Vet Boar. Blacksmiths will blow that up in a second with their giant damage numbers at the top of the playbook. And even if they don't, Cast can hit that momentous 4-on-4 and just kill him naturally. So it gets kind of ugly for Boar. And Boar's not the best at charging Masters. They tend to be 2 inches with a lot of pushes. Boar can get messed up by Masters standing in his way. So I like Fillet in this matchup. She does exactly what we saw her do. Ideally, we would have had a bit more goal threat. I don't know that Vet Brisket was the best, but yeah, Vet Brisket was solid. Cinnamon takes a lot more influence, whereas Vet Brisket's a good battery. Yeah, overall, I know a lot of that hung on Pudgy's ability to score a goal on turn 1. We saw that Bolt was a fraction of an inch out. And that changed the whole game. That meant the ball stayed here. It meant it was a very cagey game where the Butchers got a scrum that they liked. Whereas if an extra 1/4 of an inch Bolt scores a goal and acts as a snapshot turret, I don't know that that's a disaster. We still had Fillet to activate. We could go beat up Bolt with Fillet. We could kill the snapshot turret. We could score. We could put the ball on Vet Brisket, for example, and Brisket wasn't particularly pressured by Cutlass or Culverin, so we could hold the ball and then score later. I don't know that it was a disaster if Bolt could score there, but it was definitely a huge advantage for us that they couldn't. Yeah, and yeah, I very much liked the Gutter charge on Faris. I think messed up quite a bit of that plan. Happy with how I played the first part of this game. I think even if Bolt makes the goal run, I like our spot. Really don't like how I played the second half. We got really sloppy there, just attacking the wrong models and activating the wrong order, choosing the wrong playbook choices. Really sloppy, but we had a big enough lead that it turned into a win. So I think it's a couple more Fillet games, and then we'll move on to other captains. We'll get the other Butchers captains, and then we do have some other guilds lined up as well, but for the moment, I've heard far too much slander on Fillet, that she's the weakest of the Butchers captains. I think that's just because she's seen as the football captain for some reason. Fillet's not the football captain. Fillet's the most 601. Fillet's designed to collapse scrums, and especially low defense scrums like the Blacksmiths. So I hope you like Fillet games. Thank you for watching, and we'll move on to the next video as soon as I can.